All right, let's talk about something that could literally change your financial future. If you're about to start your first job or you're just getting your career off the ground, you really need to hear this. We're about to pull back the curtain on a massive financial trap that catches millions of new graduates every single year.
I know. That sounds super dramatic, right? But stick with me here. Because this idea is the key to everything. The notion that your dream job might actually be a financial illusion is central to understanding a huge problem that happens right when your professional life is just beginning. I mean, just picture it. You get that email, you get that phone call, you landed the job, the relief, the excitement, you did it. But what if, and this is the scary part, what if that amazing feeling is actually your biggest blind spot? What if, in that moment of victory, you made a mistake that could cost you for years to come?
So, that brings us right to our first big idea, the dream job illusion. This is all about the psychology behind that first offer and how your own totally normal enthusiasm can be used to set your financial future on a much, much lower path than it should be.
Here's the secret, right? Companies know you're excited. They are literally banking on your inexperience. They know that you're probably so thrilled just to have it offer that you're not going to push back or look too closely at the numbers. They're counting on you being focused on the cool title and the opportunity, not the fine print.
And that leads us directly into the first part of this trap, the lowball salary. Look, this isn't just about your first paycheck being a little smaller than you hoped. This is about setting a foundational number that has massive, and I mean massive, consequences for years and years. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the typical offer a new grad might see, and on the other, the actual market value for that exact same job. You see that gap? That's not a mistake. That's the company's profit margin, built right on top of your inexperience.
And this is where it gets really serious. Accepting a low starting salary isn't a one-time hit. It's like setting a financial anchor. Every future raise, every promotion, every new job you take is often calculated based on that initial low number. It's a compounding problem that can literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But it's not just about the salary. Oh no, the trap is way more clever than that. There's a whole other side to it. Deceptive benefits. This is where companies distract you with shiny, flashy perks that look great but don't actually build you any real long-term wealth.
Think about it this way. You've got two kinds of benefits. On one hand, you have the superficial stuff, the free lunches, the ping pong table in the break room, the company hoodies, fun for sure. But then you have these substantive benefits, things like a 401k employer match, that is literally free money for your retirement, or a really solid health insurance plan that protects you from financial disaster. One looks cool on social media, the other actually secures your future.
Okay, so that's the trap. A low salary combined with distracting perks. It's pretty serious, right? So the big question is, what do you do about it? How do you actually break free from this and start your career on the right financial footing?
This is the part where you flip the script. We're diving into the secrets of salary negotiation. And listen, this is not about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about being informed, prepared, and confident in the value you bring to the table.
It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you have to know your number. Do your homework. Use sites like Glassdoor and PayScale to figure out what your role is really worth in your city. Second, you make the first offer. You want to be the one to anchor the conversation high. And third, and this is so important, you justify your ask. You don't just state it. You connect your skills to what they need. Saying something like, based on my experience with X and Y, which I know are priorities here, I'm seeking a salary of.
So let's really put a fine point on this. As we start to wrap up, I just want to hammer this home. Your first salary is so much more than just a paycheck. It is your financial starting line for the rest of your life.
You might be looking at a number like this and thinking, no way. How is that even possible? Well, it is. If you start out just $5,000 lower than you should have, the compounding effect of smaller raises over an entire career can easily add up to $500,000 or more in lost earnings. That's the staggering power of that financial anchor we talked about.
So here's the big takeaway. That first salary is not a reward for graduating. It's not a pat on the back. It is the fundamental starting block for your entire financial future. So after everything we've talked about, the only question left is, where are you going to place your starting block?